Hello there, this is Sammy. Today we're going to be discussing on how you can hash passwords using Python Beauty modules only. See you right after the intro. Alright people, welcome back. I am super excited back again recording. Now if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notification bell so anytime I make amazing videos like this, you get notified automatically by YouTube. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I really appreciate and love you guys. Alright, let's dive straight into the video. So let's say I want to replicate the way password hashing actually works in our application. I'm going to be doing this using built-in modules in Python. So here's how I'm going to go about it. So I'm going to be importing hashlib as well as secrets. Now with that imported, now I want to create a global variable of salt. Now I'm going to be using the token hex that is coming from the secret to kind of generate a 10 byte long of string. Now you could actually decide to go with 20 or whatever. I just want to go with a 10 bytes long, right, of string. Now this is my salt key, like a secret key, right? Now I want to create a function that is actually going to be hashing the password. Let's say I call this password hashing. This guy is now going to be taking the raw password. We're going to be taking the raw password, which is actually a string, and is also going to be returning a string too, which is the hash password. Great. So I'm now going to be saying hashed password. Now I'm going to be using hashlib to do this. I'm going to be using hashlib to do this. Now I'm going to be using this guy from the hashlib module to do this. Now I have to now provide the algorithm I want to use. Now you have SHA-256 and SHA-512 as options. So let's say I want to go with SHA-512. Now the next thing you want to now provide is the password in bytes. Please remember, it is the password in bytes. And remember, this password that we are talking about here is coming as string. So how do we convert that string to bytes? Well, we could actually use a string method called encode to actually do that. It's going to convert it to bytes. Now the same thing happens too for the salt. You have to convert the salt to bytes. Now the next thing we also want to provide now is the number of iterations in which this particular algorithm is going to use the salt to encrypt the password. To follow. So let's say I want it to be 1000. I want it to be 1000, right? So it's going to do this 1000 times. Or let's say I wrote 10,000. Let's say I want to keep it at 100,000. Okay, you know what, let's make this thing much more maintainable by passing in the length or the number. Let's create a number, and this is going to be an integer. All right, great. So now that I have my hashed password in bytes, I would definitely want to return the hashed password as in hexadecimal format. Okay, so now I have this raw password converted to the hash. Great. So now next thing we want to do, let's create a variable called raw password. And let's call this Sammy Kings, and then let's now variable called hash password. We're going to call password hashing, and then we are going to be passing in raw password to it. Great. So now let's print let's say I'm going to be using f strings. Now let's say raw password is raw password, and then hashed is this hashed password. Great. So once we do this now, we are going to be getting seeing both the raw version and the hash version. Now, you know, it's one thing for you to hash a password, there's another thing for you to actually verify, right? Like if the user actually gives you a password, now you want to verify if the password that the user is giving you actually matches the one you already have on your system, which the user entered when he or she was creating the account. And remember, password hashing is a one-way thing. You cannot hash and unhash. So the way it actually works is once the password is hashed, that particular raw password again that the person is entering for the second time is also going to be hashed, and both hashes is going to be compared. Both hashes is going to be compared. So let's say I now say new hash. Let's say I now say new hash to signify, okay, the second time that this particular user is coming in, and then I will just duplicate that here and come down to this place and use print to just do a verification check. I'll say, okay, if hash password is equal to new hash. So this is the way you actually verify. Now again, I want you to take note, please and please, when you are doing this, try as much as possible not to change any value here. Like if you change, let's say you even change the number. Now let's say you change the number. Okay, let's make this a default of 10,000 or 100,000. Great. So let's make this a default of 100,000. Now say if at this stage here, when I'm calling this guy, I'm using 10,000, 10,000, or let's go with 100,000. I'm using 100,000 to as the number of iterations, even when the salt is constant. Even when the salt is constant, and in this second hashing, I now increase it to, let's say, 100 to 200,000. The result is definitely not going to be the same. You know what? Let's demonstrate this. So first, we'll use the default, right? So let's save this. Let's bring my terminal. Then let's say I want to run this. Now you can see I have raw password is I'm making. Then this is the hashed version, and you can see it's true. How about when I'm calling this now, and I'll provide a number, and then I'll say this number should be 20,000. Now watch what is going to happen. Now if I run this, you see it's false. That is because the hash is now different. So basically, that is the way you can actually go about building a simple password hashing program for educational purposes only. If you want to hash password, please use third-party packages that are recommended, packages like bcrypt, or if you're using what calling it Flask, like you can use the inbuilt password hashing that's coming from Wexzug. Alright guys, thank you for sticking through to the end. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and also share it to your developer friends that would find this helpful. See you again in my next video. Bye bye.